Welcome to this mini course on how to change your energy habits while you're in the bathroom. During this mini course, we are going to explore how the science of habits can help us to create new and lasting habits around how we interact with the world on an energetic level. My name is Kristen Lemaster, and I am an energy medicine practitioner who has been trained or studied more than 30 energy healing modalities over the last 20 years. Throughout all of my training, I always felt there was a missing link to making our energetic transformations become permanent. I have both experienced and witnessed countless times in clients, in my peers, and other healers that we can make evolution and progress in our energy. But a lot of times we snap back into our old ways of existing. After 15 years of trying to hunt down a way to make this permanent, I think I discovered that the missing link is all about our energetic habits. In this course, we are going to explore the theory that when you have a desired change in your behavior, you can get there faster, more efficiently, and make it permanent if you take that behavior change and break it down into a bunch of tiny changes. And when you master each tiny change, it can get you to the overall big behavior change that you want. There's a lot of resources out there. So we're going to cover the main resources that I think are the most valuable. And then we are going to set ourselves up with a roadmap for how to show up in the world automatically, energetically whole. And what we mean by energetic wholeness is that our energy is embodied. It's only our energy in our sacred space in our body. We are grounded. We are centered. We have very healthy energetic boundaries and energetic relationships. We clear out our energy field. And we also acknowledge that we are connected to the universe, to love, to source, to whatever you want to call it. Now, our overall behavior change in this mini course, again, automatic energetic wholeness. And we are going to break that up into 7 small habits, and we are going to master those one at a time. And the first 3 we master while we're in the bathroom. Now, this Habit Helpers mini course is actually part of a bigger course called Easy Living for Sensitive People. And that course is a 12-module course that marries how to be energetically whole with how to create new energetic habits. You don't need to know anything about the Easy Living program, but I mention it here just in case in one of the videos there's a reference to something where you're like, what is she talking about? It's probably a reference to something else in that course because it's in the context of that course. But again, you do not need to take that full-blown course in order to get a lot out of this Habit Helpers mini course. And in fact, what we're going to learn, although we're going to focus and practice and lay out a roadmap for energetic wholeness, you can take these things and apply it to any new habit that you're trying to develop in your life. So before we get started, let me walk you through what those resources are, what our roadmap looks like, and then also what are we going to learn when it comes to habits. This mini course is entitled How to Change Your Energetic Habits While You're in the Bathroom. And before we get started, let's take a few minutes to explore the foundations upon which this mini course is based. So we're going to take a look at the 3 main references that we will use to create this new habit of automatic energetic wholeness. And then we'll also take a look at what the skeleton of our habit roadmap looks like. So first, let's start off by saying there are many amazing resources out there when it comes to how to create new and lasting habits. What you see here are my top 3. They are Atomic Habits by James Clear, Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, and Badass Habits by Jen Sincero. Now, Atomic Habits and Tiny Habits really are the main foundation of what this mini course is based on. And they both say kind of the same thing, and it's all based in science, and it's based in the same science. And James Clear and BJ Fogg did work together for a portion of their career. So both Atomic Habits, again meaning small, and Tiny Habits meaning small, both of these books really get at what the science says is that when we have a desired change in our behavior, if we take that behavior or that master habit and we break it down into a bunch of small habits and we master each small habit one at a time, the aggregate is that you get to the overarching habit faster, more efficiently, and it's more permanent. So I would invite you to go ahead and check these resources out. For James Clear's Atomic Habits, I would actually recommend signing up for his newsletter. He has one of the best daily emails I have ever seen. And in fact, in a time where we're constantly bombarded by emails, his is usually sometimes the only one I read. It's pretty amazing. He also has some great standalone examples, for instance, Atomic Habits for parenting, Atomic Habits for business. So lots of resources there. BJ Fogg, also totally worth checking out. He has a lot of also standalone programs on how to use tiny habits for certain things in your life. But one of the things that I love about Tiny Habits is that he trains tiny habit coaches. So if you're trying to break a bad habit or create a new and lasting habit and you're having trouble doing it on your own, and even if this mini course doesn't help you, you can find a tiny habit coach who will really get you going and really get you into the flow of a new and lasting habit. And then finally, there's Badass Habits by Jen Sincero. And the reason that I love this book is that the way that she talks about habits is kind of how we talk about energy. And even though she doesn't come right out and use the word energy directly, there's a lot of overlap in what we teach in the energy world with what she's teaching in her book, Badass Habits. She also has a great outline, 21 Days to a New Habit, so really great self-directed program in that book. So again, there's a lot of resources, a lot of science out there. These are my top 3. But let's talk a little bit about what we're going to learn in this mini course. So again, we have a desired behavior change, and that is automatic energetic wholeness. And we're going to talk in a minute what energetic wholeness means. But what we're going to do in this mini course is we are going to take that overarching habit of automatic energetic wholeness, and we are going to break it down into 7 tiny habits. And by the end of this mini course, you're going to see the roadmap to automatic energetic wholeness, and you're going to see what happens at each rung of the ladder. Now, the reason this course is called Change Your Habits While You're in the Bathroom is because those first 3 rungs, we are going to anchor into going to the bathroom, which is something we do several times a day. And then, of course, the other rungs are going to take us deeper and deeper into our lives as we show up from a state of automatic energetic wholeness. So some of the things that we're going to explore, we are not only going to lay out a roadmap and actually practice the first 2 or 3 rungs on the ladder together during the mini course. We are also going to look at the science behind habit formation. We are going to look at the life cycle of a habit. And honestly, just by understanding that a habit is more than just the action, it's what happens before and after that action, sometimes that's enough to really propel you forward in making progress with your desired behavior change. We're also going to take a deep dive and we're going to look at the role of motivation, the role of processes, the role of community, the role of identity, and how all of these things really impact whether or not our habit is a lasting one. We're also going to talk about how to turn a trigger into a cue for our new and lasting habit. And there's so much more we're going to learn. So basically, we're going to lay out a roadmap, we're going to practice, but we're also going to look at ways we can hack our brain to make that process go faster, easier, and also be more lasting. So that's the gist of this mini course. Now, if you're taking this mini course, you may or may not have a background in energy. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of a Energy 101 here, because again, this mini course is based on changing the overall behavior of being energetically whole. Now, this, as I mentioned, this Habit Helpers is actually part of a much broader course called Easy Living for Sensitive People. And in the Easy Living program, again, we marry energetic wholeness with new habits. And why don't we talk a little bit about what we mean by energetic wholeness? Well, the first thing is we learn how to center. So throughout this mini course, you're going to hear the word center, and this is just what we mean. We mean taking your attention and putting it at the center part of your brain. And when you're in the center part of your brain, you hear your intuition, you perceive a lot of information, and you're able to really process it in a way that it's in your highest good. So when you hear the word center, it's just bringing your awareness to the center part of your brain. And then the other parts of being energetically whole that you will hear about in this mini course is about, so we center, we fill, meaning we embody our energy. We bring our energy fully into our body and into our aura. So we center, we fill, we ground, meaning that we form a very deep connection to the earth. Those are the roots that you see on that picture. And then the last part that you'll hear about in this mini course is checking our sacred space. And really what we mean is we're clearing out our energy field and we're checking in with our energetic boundaries to make sure they aren't barriers, but to also make sure that they are hefty enough that we have good energetic relationships with the things around us. Again, you can use this Habit Helper mini course really for any habit that you're trying to change, but we are really going to focus in on the overall goal, which is automatic energetic wholeness. So again, if you're interested in doing the full-blown Easy Living program, if you're feeling like you want a little bit more of a background or education on energetic wholeness, I invite you to go ahead and check it out. It's at my website. And again, what you get out of that course are the tools and experience of being energetically whole, as well as the roadmap of tiny habits to help you show up and have really good energetic habits with the world around you. So that's the background for this course. Let's go ahead and get started.